In this video, we are going to learn all the vocabulary related to the coordinate plane. These are probably words that you've heard before, but as we start talking about graphs, we want to make sure that we are all on the same page and you know exactly what is being talked about. So go ahead and just sketch yourself a graph that looks like this. Okay, and there's a few pieces that you need to know what they're called. Usually you'll find there's like a little X right here, a little Y right here. And the reason is that this line right here, this horizontal line, this is called the X axis, okay? And a line that goes left to right like that is called a horizontal line. You can remember, like if you look out at the ocean, you see the horizon, that's the line between the ocean and the sky. That's a horizontal line. Okay, and this line, this vertical line, this up and down line, is called the y-axis. That's the vertical line. And then there's this point in the middle where the two lines cross, and that is called the origin. Origin, okay? The starting point, that's what the word origin means. And then we have these four sections of the graph, and each of them is called a quadrant. This right here is called quadrant 1, and we write it in Roman numerals like an I. And then it goes in a C pattern, like this. So quadrant 2, quadrant, and notice I'm using Roman numerals, this is just kind of how it's done, 3, and quadrant 4, here's 4 in Roman numerals, it's an I before a V because the V represents 5, right? So that this is 1 before 5, so this represents 4, okay? This is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4, the x-axis, the y-axis, and the origin. Okay, now when we're working with the coordinate plane, what we usually see is a pair of numbers like this, where there's a number right here. Let's just make, for example, let's say this is a 5. And then there's a number right here. Let's say it's a -3. This is called, when you have a number like this, it's called an ordered pair. And the reason it's called that is a pair of numbers, right? It's two numbers, but it's in order. The order matters, okay? This number right here, the number on the left, is called the x-coordinate. And this tells us if we're gonna go left or right and how far. So if this number is negative, we go to the left. So if this was -5, I would go to the left 5. If this number is positive, I go to the right. Okay, so in this case, this would tell me to go right 5. Okay, and if it's 0, then we don't go left or right. This number right here, the one on the right in the ordered pair, right, because it has to be in order, is called the y-coordinate. Now remember, this number told me where to go left and right, where to go on the x-axis, right? So if you see a graph, sometimes it'll be labeled. This would be the x-axis. So let's say this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? This would tell me to go to 5 on the x-axis. Now this y-coordinate tells me where to go up and down on the y-axis. So if this number is negative, I go down, right? This is here, like, and I'm always going to start when I'm graphing a point. I start at the origin, and in here I would go right 5 and down 3. So this point would be somewhere like this. Okay, and if this y-coordinate is positive, I go up. So now let's take a look at actually graphing some points. Now, it's going to be worth it right now to take a moment, okay, and just a little bit to the left, leave a little bit of space along the right side, but a little bit closer to the left side. You're going to go ahead and draw a nice, neat graph that goes up to 5 in all directions. So watch what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want, you can number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this is -1, -2, -3, -4, negative 5, right? These are all numbers along the x-axis. I just numbered the x-axis. This is 0 on the x-axis. Okay, I just numbered the x-axis. Make yourself a nice, neat graph, right? If we were all together, I would just be giving you a nice, neat picture of the graph to kind of get you comfortable with this, but we don't have that. So this is, and then look, watch when I'm going on the y-axis, negative 1. If I go down, these are negative numbers. Negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Okay, so just do your best, make it as neat as you can. And let's take a look at just a few points, just so we can, you've definitely seen this before, right? But let's just make sure that you're comfortable with it. And when we really get into more complicated stuff, you're not hung up on the basics, all right? So let's take a look. Point A, I'm gonna graph point A. Point A is gonna be 3, negative 1. So how do I graph that? So I'm gonna start at the origin. This tells me to go right 3, right? The x-coordinate is positive. I'm gonna go right. I'm gonna go to 3, and you can also think of it as going to 3 on the x-axis because this is the x-coordinate. 1, 2, 3 to the right. Then this says to go down 1, or in other words, to go to negative 1, which is here on the y-axis. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna put my point, and I'm gonna label it A. Okay, let's plot another one. Here's B. Negative 2, 4. Okay, I'm going to start here. This tells me left 2, 1, 2, up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, you're just doing this as neatly as possible just to remind yourself about how to do this, right? This is hopefully familiar to you. And if it's not, it's not, and you're taking care of it right now. Okay, look, here's an interesting one. 0, 2. So what should I do with this 0? The 0 is in the position of the x-coordinate. So when I'm told to go left or right, look, I'm not going to go left or right. But this 2 tells me go up 2. So 0, 2 is right here. Okay, now notice 2, 0, let's say these were switched places. 2, 0 would be here, right? That would have meant go right 2, and then don't go up or down. That would be 2, 0. This is 0, 2. Okay, so just be careful, don't get it mixed up. Point D, let's try 3, 4. Okay, these are both positive, so this means I'm going to go right 3 and up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's point D. Okay, let's do one more this way, and then I'm going to switch things up a little bit. What if you go to a point like negative 4, negative 4? This means left 4, down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, I'm going left 4. I'm going to an x-coordinate of negative 4 and to a y-coordinate of negative 4, right? Left 4, down 4. That's point E. We can also work this in reverse, right? If I said, okay, here's a point. This is point F. I could ask you, what are the coordinates of point F? And you could figure that out. You could say, okay, well, you could do it a couple ways. You could say, well, if I start here, let's see, I go left 3, right? I'm going 1, 2, 3 to the left. You could have also seen like, oh, look, I'm at negative 3 on the x-axis. So the x-coordinate is negative 3. And then I notice I'm on the x-axis. I'm on the x-axis. I didn't go up or down. So this is a 0. Okay. And notice the points that had a 0 in it, they're on an axis. If I have a 0 in the x-coordinate, that means I'm not going to go left or right at all, and that point is going to land on the y-axis. And if I have a 0 in the y-coordinate, that point lands right here on the x-axis. Let's do one more of these. Can you find, what are the coordinates of point G? What are the coordinates of point G? Let's see, to get there, I would have to go left 1, negative 1, down 5, negative 5. Okay, and that's it.